See, the Illini on their way to the Rose Bowl. That win right there did it for them. Mike White really doing wonders up at Champaign. SMU and BYU both leading in their bowl games. Ohio State headed for a major bowl. Would seem to me the Ohio State-Michigan game is going to be a big one. And Clemson just hammered Maryland 52-27.
Well, once again, the coach's theory that the team that makes the most yards rushing will win 80% of the games in college, and Clemson just proved that point once again.
Guy running the scoreboard in that Georgia Tech-Wake Forest game got to be tired. There's Missouri, and the Tigers trying to put themselves in a postseason bowl as well. It is second down and 4 for Auburn. Just inside the Georgia 35. Ball quickly to Lionel James. He pops out of the crowd and gets the first down. That stops the clock now to move the chains at the Georgia 28 and 25 seconds to play in the first half. Harry Hogue on the tackle for Georgia. And timeout, Auburn.
Timeout, Auburn. As we look at Pat Dye, Georgia played the screen perfectly, but the elusiveness of James allowed him to break in the secondary and make the first down. Make the first down.
Baylor becoming quite a factor in the Southwest Conference now, and UCLA had a chance to tie on a field goal as time ran out in the ball game out there. And Washington State trying to win their 6th against 4 losses, with Oregon, Paul Wiggin having been fired at Stanford during the past week.
Interesting number about the Auburn football team. Their quarterback has not been sacked in 25 quarters. That's been a long, long time. Look at Ben Bennett of Duke, passed for 442 yards against North Carolina State and scored on the last play of the ball game.
It was, what was it? 20, it was 21-6 or something like that. 26-3. 7 going into the final quarter.
Keith, the key here is that Ben Bennett only needs, 56 yards to pass John Elway, and he has a chance, 246, to pass Jim McMahon as the all-time career passing leader.
From the 27 of Georgia, first down Auburn, 25 seconds to play, first half. Randy Campbell keeps it. They go to the tight side of the field, and Campbell, did he get out of bounds?
No, he did not, Keith. The official has not stopped the clock.
They run to the boundary side of the field. Georgia's filled it up over there, and there's really no place for him to go, and now time is stricken. They try to get one play off, try to pick up. No,
can't do it, Keith. Nope.
Can't do it. So with 6 seconds to play, I would think Del Greco will come on. Auburn has no timeouts remaining, and that's what we're going to get.
Keith, I guess we should mention that Del Greco has a little bit of a wind to his back, blowing from our left to right. This will be a 42-yard field goal.
Well, he's got plenty of leg for that.
Yes.
The holder is Mike Mann. The snapper is Brian Delaney. Del Greco is from Key Biscayne, Florida. Mann is from Sylacauga, Alabama. And Delaney is from Rome, Georgia. So there are 3 states represented in this trio. They're going to call it a 41-yard field goal, but the ball is actually closer to the 42. This will be a new Auburn career record for touchdowns, 39, if he makes it. 6 seconds to play in the first half.
The holder is a quarterback, Mike Mann, who could possibly fake the field goal and try a pass. But I believe they'll go for the...
I think they'll kick it.
Yeah, they'll try to kick it. That's the best percentage play.
He's 3 out of 4 from this distance this season. Hit a 20-yarder earlier. Plenty of leg. He knocked it right through there. And time runs out at the end of the first half. And the Auburn Tigers can guarantee a share of the conference title. Del Greco kicks off. It goes to Gary Moss. Moss from the goal line finds a little daylight. Hits the 25 and 30 and 35 and almost, in fact, across the 40. So Georgia opens it up with a big return to get good field position. But let's go back to the first quarter touchdown. Watch Bo Jackson, number 34 of Auburn. Watch this run. He is in the clutches, right? Wrong. Watch the strength of the man as he runs and runs inside the 5, and from there, it was Lionel James who took it into the end zone. John Lastinger comes back at quarterback. And the pitch goes to David McCluskey, number 43, the 215-pound tailback. And he's out to about the 45. On the right side of the picture, number 34, Bo Jackson will throw a block that springs Lionel James. The tight end stepped back inside and sealed it from that direction. And Little Train waltzed in. So that's where we are after the 2 field goals by Del Greco. It's 13-0 Auburn. And Georgia now, second down and about 5.5. And it's McCluskey into the crowd. And he's got a yard, and that's all. So Georgia will be looking at third down and about 4. Lastinger started the game. Williams replaced him in the second quarter. Lastinger coming back now, trying to get something going with Montgomery, Young, and an assortment of other backs working at tailback. Herman Archie, a wide man, and Kevin Harris. Those are the big people up front. Barry Young, the fullback, and David McCluskey, the tailback, on third down and 4 for Georgia. Lastinger bootlegs it out, looks and throws. Has a man, passes complete, caught by Clarence Kay, the tight end. Lastinger is on the money with his pass, and suddenly Georgia is down, first down at the Auburn 41. And Frank Broyles had come out snorting.
They've got 15 fired up. Lastinger, number 12, as a starting quarterback at Georgia. He's 19 wins and 1 loss. This time he threw the ball right on the target. Kay is a fine tight end, caught it and made the first down.
Montgomery is in at tailback now as they send Archie in motion. And the ball goes to Montgomery, and the blocking is pretty good up front this time for the tailback, and he hits it down near the Auburn 37. The big guys playing defense, John Daly, a 210-pound defensive end. Doug Smith, 6'6", 275 for Auburn. Dow Altman is the nose guard, 265. Donnie Humphrey at tackle, 260. And Quincy Williams, the other end, at 215. Linebackers, Greg Carr, 6'2", 215, and Jeff Jackson, 6 feet, 225. It is second down and 7, Georgia, at the Auburn 37, and Lastinger drops the football. Lastinger turning around to pitch the ball, just simply dropped it. So there's a loss back to about the 44. David King, cornerback, a good first half for David. The other corner is Jimmy Warren, 5'11", 180. The safeties are Vic Beasley, 6 feet, 185, and Tommy Fowle, 5'10", 190. It is third down and 13 now for Georgia as they're backed up to the Auburn 44. Lastinger to throw. Has time. Loops it downfield, and it is incomplete. Deflected away, the pass intended for Herman Archie. It is kind of strange to me in this particular ball game, Frank Broyles, that Clarence Kay, their big tight end, one of the best in the country, has been thrown to only one time. Herman Archie, on the other hand, they've thrown the ball at him quite a few times without success.
The ball was thrown late by Lastinger. Archie was open momentarily, but Powell, number 9, the defensive cornerback, came back and deflected the pass. So
that opening flurry by Georgia, getting the ball over on the Auburn side of the field to start the second half, is turned away by the Auburn defense, which has been dominant so far in the ball game, forcing the punt by Chip Andrews. It's a tail dragger, and it goes into the end zone. He was trying to roll it out of bounds in the corner, couldn't do it. Auburn will come out first down at the 20 after a 44-yard punt. Calvin Ruff is a freshman, a red shirt, out of Eatonton at defensive end. Donald Chumley is a big tackle at 240 from Savannah. Mike Weaver, the nose guard, 280. And Kenneth Sims, 245. A tackle with Freddie Gilbert, an All-American, All-Conference, 250. Cox Culpepper, the leading tackler on the team at linebacker, and Tommy Thurston, 235, the senior linebacker. And it's first down now as Randy Campbell has had quite a day for the Auburn Tigers. He sets them up first down at their 20 with that wishbone offense. One of 4 teams in the country still using it. And the ball goes to Lionel James. Makes a good cut back into the traffic and picks up 5 yards. The Georgia defensive secondary, Darrell Jones, a senior at one corner. Tony Flack is a sophomore at the other corner. Flack has been hurt once in the first half, but coming back. Terry Hogue is a consensus All-American playing Rover. And Charlie Dean is the free safety at number 18. So it's second down and 5 for Auburn. The Plainsmen have controlled the ball game to this point. Have made no real serious mistakes in the ball game so far. Campbell getting pressure. Knocks Culpepper, got it. Back at the 21.
Culpepper likes the blitz. makes the big play. He reads the play as a pass. He's coming. Campbell, the quarterback, is trying to scramble, and this is the first time that the Auburn quarterback has been tackled for a loss in over 26 quarters. Culpepper makes a great effort. He stays relentlessly after the quarterback. There he makes the play. Big, big play for the Georgia Bulldogs, and they needed it desperately.
It'll be third down, about 8 from near the 22. Belly it off to the fullback, Ami Agee, who had a 219-yard game against Maryland last week. Agee gets almost nothing out of it, and it brings up fourth down. So the Georgia defensive unit, which has played very well, does its job, and Auburn now will have to kick it away. Auburn punter is in the ball game. Lewis Colbert has had 2 kicks so far, a 42 and 50 yards, averaging 42 yards on the season. Jerry Moss is deep for Georgia. No pressure on Colbert. Good high-hanging kick, and Moss has to call fair catch and does. But Georgia has good field position now. They have the football, first down up at the 42 after a 35-yard punt by Colbert.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for Eason.
Georgia having run off 23 consecutive conference wins. Last team to beat them was Auburn. And the Tigers with one conference game to play. Alabama December 3rd, trying to grab this one, leading 13-0. Lastinger, a little play action now, swings it back to Tron Jackson, set up a screen for him. Nothing doing. Number 42, Jeff Jackson, decks him. Big senior out of Griffin. Yep. Taking a look at the Southeastern Conference standings, Alabama won today, so the Crimson Tide's 4-1 with a December 3rd game against Auburn. If Georgia should win this football game, they would clinch the conference championship because they would have concluded their conference schedule having only Georgia Tech left to play. But if Auburn wins, we'll go down to that Alabama game. There's a penalty flag. It's going to be against Georgia because the referee pulled it out of his pocket. But Auburn may decline it because they have run Tron Jackson down behind the line of scrimmage. Strong safety Tommy Powell out of Greenville, Alabama, a freshman coming up to make the play. So the Auburn defense, Frank, it just isn't giving them anything. They're just shutting the door on them.
The Auburn defense is so big physically that the Georgia team cannot run against them, and so they're going to more of a play action and short passing game.
Illegal motion, offense, decline.
George Hafner, the offensive coordinator, told me that might be the possibility that Auburn would be so strong that they'd have to change character, depart from what they've done best all year, and try to open up their passing attack. That seems to be the case right now.
It is third down. The ball is sitting on the Georgia 37. They need 16 yards to keep it. Lastinger on a deep drop. Goes deep downfield with it. He's got Harris out there, and Harris has got it. Made the catch between 2 defenders, but there is a penalty flag thrown back up at the line of scrimmage.
That thing is going to make a beautiful throw. Harris is in behind the safety. He lays it up, lets him run under the ball, but Georgia is called for holding or illegal use of the hand.
The play comes back.
What's the pattern that Harris runs? Auburn defensive backs are known to play very tight and are vulnerable in behind them. You can see that Harris runs right behind Warren, number 45, and behind Beasley, the safety man, number 31. Tough break for Georgia.
Illegal use of hands, offense.
Well, again, the penalties hurt Georgia. Mistakes in the fumble and penalties have played a major part in Auburn's lead so far.
It is third down now and 21. Lastinger has good protection, gets it out to Tron Jackson, but there are 2 Tigers waiting for him at the 39. The first one was Greg Carr, who leads the team in tackles, and that'll bring in the punter, Chip Andrews, on fourth down.
When you got mobile linebackers like Carr and Jackson both run 4.6 and 4.7, you don't worry about those short passes because you can come up, concede them first, and come up and make the tackle for short gain.
Chip Andrews about to hit his 7th punt of the ball game, and when you punted 7 times in the middle of the third quarter, your offense hasn't been doing a whole lot. Auburn drops off, leaving 8 men up front. Good kick by Andrews. Trey Gaines called a fair catch. He did it back at his 11, but had he not made the fair catch, Georgia had a chance to kill it deep. That was a 49-yard punt, and we've got a timeout.
To put Auburn where it is today.
He's 6 feet tall. He weighs 165 pounds. He probably has no chance at a pro career, but he's had a great senior season for the Auburn Tigers. And he sets them up now. First down. They put it at the 12 of Auburn. Tigers are leading 13-0 here in the third quarter of play. That's Bo Jackson bolting to about the 16.
Keep going back to Pat Dye. I closed my eyes and listened, and I thought it was Bear Bryant talking. Of course, Pat coached for Bear for so long. He is a lot like him in many ways, many ways.
That ain't too bad.
That ain't too bad is right.
Second down and call it 5.5. Option down the right side, a little train. Lionel James hemmed in, cuts it back, breaks it out. Still going. First down, Auburn out at the 34.
The Georgia defense played it perfectly. James should have been tackled or could have been tackled behind the line of scrimmage. You cannot play the option any better than Georgia plays it, but you have to make the tackle. As Vince Dooley said, they haven't been tackling good. Well, a lot of it is because of this young man right here. He's probably the most elusive ball carrier in the Southeastern Conference. Only 5'7", 170 pounds. Not much speed, but he's hard to tackle.
And it's a first down. Ball is at the Auburn 34. Working the triple option to perfection. Of course, once they get in traffic, it's up to them. And Jackson and James have done a heck of a job. And this time it's Agee carrying. Lionel James has now passed 2,000 yards, Frank. He's got 2,008. He is Auburn's third all-time running back behind Joe Cribbs and James Brooks. And that's pretty flashy company.
That is fast company indeed. And he must be the smallest back in many years in the Southeast, at least, that has had over 2,000 yards.
You look back over Auburn's history, and they have had great running backs year after year after year. Go back as far as you want, and they've had great running backs. It is second down and 7. And Campbell options it down the line and keeps it to the 40. They'll be looking at third down and 5.
Here's an example of the Auburn running backs that are playing in the NFL. We recognize those names as outstanding ball carriers, and that's just ones in recent years. As Keith mentioned, they go way back.
One of the great upsets in this colorful series that started in 1892 was in 42 when a fellow named Monk Gafford cut him up.
The only Georgia loss of that year. They went on and won the Rose Bowl game against UCLA.
Third down and 5 from the 40 as Campbell stands quickly, goes with a wide-out pattern to Chris Woods, number 1, a senior from Birmingham. Woods pulls it down. There's a penalty flag thrown.
A late call. It seemed like that as we watch the pattern, Woods has excellent speed. Georgia secondary is giving him a good cushion, even though it's third and short yardage. I believe I'd be up playing him a little tighter than that on third and short yardage. But it's going for Dawn. I believe that Auburn is going to be penalized.
They're backing up. Talking to Tommy Thurston, senior linebacker. Auburn's time of possession just growing enormously. The defense has dominated the ball game for the Tigers. The offense has made very few mistakes. In fact, no mistakes really that have hurt them. Here's your call from referee Dick Burleson.
Holding, offense, repeat third down.
One thing, as we mentioned earlier, for those of you that joined the slate, both of these coaches stress the running game, strong defense, and a good kicking game, and throw only when the other team overplays the run, sacrificing pass coverage. Two outstanding coaches, good tradition right here in both of these schools.
It is third down and 15 for the Tigers from their 30. And Campbell straight back. Throws it short to Bo Jackson. Gang tackle. And down he goes at the 38, short of the first down. Here is Tim Brent.
Keith, All-American rover Terry Hogue has taken himself out of the ballgame for Georgia defensively. His ankle is paining him something awful. You know, he hurt this ankle against Temple 2 weeks ago. Did not practice this week. Tried to go in the first half, played fairly well, but now it is really hurting him. He's taken himself out of the ballgame.
That puts Cantrell in his place as the rover back, who Cantrell having played very well last week in their 10-9 win over Florida. The punt by Colbert, his 4th of the day. Pressure! They almost got it. Almost blocked, but he got it away, and a fair catch is called up at the 32 by Gary Moss. It was Henry Harris, number 52, the freshman, who almost blocked it. 4:30 to go in the third quarter. Third quarter here in Athens, with Auburn leading 13-0. Georgia with its 9th possession. The previous 8 have ended in 7 punts and a fumble. Just short of their 33. Lastinger, the quarterback, option down the line, turns it inside, and he is dropped right about the line of scrimmage. Ben Thomas, a big junior from Ashburn, Georgia, made the tackle for Auburn. Another one of the factors in this ball game is Pat Dye, the Auburn coach, was an All-American guard at Georgia, while Vince Dooley, the Georgia coach, was a quarterback at Auburn. And it was Dye in 1959 who recovered a fumble that sealed a Georgia win over Auburn. So the familial relationships are deeply intertwined between these two schools. Lastinger's pass on the money as a penalty flag thrown as David King came up and hit Herman Archie. And apparently they're going to call it that he got there a little too soon.
Well, the rule says that the defensive man cannot touch the offensive receiver until the offensive receiver has had a chance to touch the ball. You be the judge. King, number 27, is going to be coming right over the back of Archer, number 81.
Too soon.
Defense, first down.
Very, very close call. If his right shoulder does, in fact, hit Archie's right shoulder, right there, very close play. King was very upset with the call.
Tough call, judgment call. So many judgments that a man has to make out there officiating a game. Here's Lastinger. Whips it over to Kevin Harris. Wide out screen. It works for a first down for Georgia. Down to the Auburn 42. Greg Carr made the tackle. Watch the work of Greg Carr, who is a member of the Honor Society. Fine student at Auburn.
Watch him fire and blitz, but he doesn't give up. Good defensive football players never give up. They always pursue while the ball is being in the air and on the ground, and a great play by Carr, saving a possible touchdown.
At the Auburn 42, first down, Georgia. This one of the more impressive offensive efforts by Georgia so far in the ball game. This gain by the fullback, Barry Young, is good down to about the 37. Georgia had been averaging about 1.9 per rush. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football coming up Monday night. You'll get to see Eric Dickerson, the Rams rookie running back, who's been a sensation. The Rams co-leaders in the Western Division with San Francisco and New Orleans. Atlanta coming along, though. They've moved their record up to 4-6. 9 Eastern time on Monday. Second down, 4.5 for Georgia. On the Auburn side of the field, here's the pitch going back to Keith Montgomery, the tailback, and he's got a yard. That's all. The Georgia offensive front, one of the best in the country. I don't think there's any question about that. But the defensive effort by the Auburn people today, and particularly their big guys in the down position, Smith, Ottman, and Humphrey, have just been a sight.
Humphrey, number 79, watch him fight off the block. He uses his hands. That's the mark of a good defensive lineman. He keeps his feet free. Then he recognizes where the ball is and escapes from the block and assists in the tackle. Humphrey made all Southeastern Conference in 1981.
It is third down and 3 for Georgia. Outside, Montgomery will not get it. Now Vince Dooley's got to make a decision.
He will go for it on fourth down. He has no choice. He's threatening. He's got a little momentum. But the Auburn defense, Keith, the reason they're being so effective with it is that Georgia has not been unpredictable with their offense. They've been stereotyped running the ball most of the time.
They went to the boundary side of the field that time, trying to get enough clogging over there and open a crack for Montgomery, and it just simply wasn't available.
Auburn will bunch inside and force them to go wide if they make it.
That's Scott Williams in motion. Here comes Lastinger, and no, nothing doing. Nothing doing. Lestinger never had a chance to execute the option as the Auburn defensive people just simply overran them. Big Doug Smith, 6'6", 275 from Bayboro, North Carolina. And Auburn has the football, first down at their own 35.
Who makes the best-selling radials in America? Goodyear. We outsell all foreign radials combined. One reason, the Goodyear Arriva. It gives you long tread life. And best of all season traction in the wet stuff and the white stuff. The Goodyear all-season Arriva. It's one reason Goodyear is the leader in radials. No foreign maker of radials even comes close. Goodyear, #1 in radials.
Well, moms and dads the world around give their kids the same old sound. Got to go to school, be a big success. They wouldn't settle for anything less. Now they've learned whatever you seek, you'll help yourself to reach your peak in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Need a trade? Looking for a skill? They have hundreds to fit the bill in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Want more school? Don't have the bread. They'll help pay to get you ahead. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Mom
seconds to play in the third quarter. Georgia has had a history with this particular senior class of players. Pull them out late if they had to. They went 99 yards to beat Florida last week in the fourth quarter. But they're in against a different critter, I think, today in these Tigers. Look at that. See that Campbell hold that ball for last second, turn it loose as he was going down. Took a solid lick from Andy Loy, but he got the ball to Lionel James, and James has got a first down. Nebraska rolling Kansas 47-0. Lionel James now with 9 carries and 75 yards in the game. Texas had to come from behind, trailing 14-3 at halftime to pull that out. And the Fighting Illini are headed for the Rose Bowl. That win today locked it. BYU is winning, continuing to win. LaVell Edwards' team out in the Rocky Mountain country. From the 47-yard line, here comes Bo Jackson up to midfield. Up 3 yards. Donald Chumley, junior from Savannah, brought him down. Alabama beating Southern Miss 28-16. Alabama's got to go up and play Boston College yet. And then they play Auburn on December 3rd, a game that we'll have for you here on ABC. If Auburn continues to hold its lead and wins today, and if they can handle Alabama and Birmingham, they're on their way to New Orleans. And the Sugar Bowl, their second conference championship. Last time they won it was 1957. Only time they've won it. Second down and 7. Campbell runs that belly series. Keeps the football. The ball is loose, and he rolled over on top of it and regained it as Freddie Gilbert had a hold of it.
Oh, Freddie Gilbert, number 90, has to make some big plays if Georgia's going to win. He's been their big playmaker. He's crashed into the inside, gets blocked momentarily, but he has the ability to fight outside, and he makes a leaping dive and knocks the ball out, and it rolls right back. Campbell's alertness recovers it for Auburn.
And the third quarter is over with Auburn leading 13-0. We'll be back after this commercial message as we go to the final 15 minutes of this 87th meeting between Auburn and Georgia. The Tigers have the ball at their own 46, third down and 12. Leading 13-0. And Campbell back. Throws it short, and it is caught at the Georgia 49 by Ed West, the tight end, and he took a lick from Gary Cantrell, but he hung on.
West is going to be crossing the in front of the linebackers. Campbell just holds the ball until he gets open, but it's such a short game. Georgia's defensive people, Campbell in particular, make a fine play and stop him short of the first down.
And in comes Lewis Colbert to kick. Gary Moss is deep for Georgia. Fifth punt of the day for Auburn. One of a knuckleball downfield. Moss fine with it. Finds a little room. Comes across the 20, out to the 23. Third quarter statistics.
Auburn's defense continues to dominate the game. The amazing thing is strikes out. Total yards for Georgia, 85 yards. They've been rushing for 250 yards a game. They've rushed for 46, giving Auburn plenty of opportunities to use their offense, and they lead 13-0.
Georgia averaging 2.5 yards on first down plays. That will not get you a win. Here's Lestinger on a roll, bootlegging, coming outside. And hit from behind and brought down by Jim Bone, number 51, a junior from Columbus. Here's the story on the Georgia possession.
This just shows once again what field position would do. Auburn has moving the ball enough to start Georgia way back, as you can see, and Georgia not being able to do anything with the Auburn defense.
Second down, 7. Lastinger goes the other way to throw it. Ball is deflected by number 93, Quincy Williams. Big Quincy.